You walk over to the enclosure in the morning, lift the cover, and your bearded dragon is sitting under the basking light with its beard fully black. Not gray, not dusty, black like ink. The glass feels a little cooler than usual. The thermometer is sitting in a spot you don't quite trust. And somewhere behind you, the dog just barked or a kid just ran past the tank. Your first thought is usually one of two things. Either, is something wrong, or is it just in a mood? Both reactions make sense. Neither one is the full story. Black coloration in a bearded dragon is not a mood, it is a signal. And like most signals from a reptile, it only makes sense when you read it together with everything happening around it. That is the part most owners miss, and the part worth walking through carefully. Bearded dragons are not expressive the way dogs and cats are. They don't wag, they don't purr, they don't run to the door. What they do is shift color posture position in the enclosure. Breathing rate, how tightly they hold their body against the surface they're on. When the beard turns black, the dragon is telling you something has changed. Maybe internally, maybe in the environment, maybe both. Your job is not to guess the emotion. Your job is to read the conditions. Once you start thinking that way, the color stops feeling random. The first thing to check every single time is temperature. Bearded dragons rely on moving between warm and cool spots to control body temperature. And the basking surface is the engine of almost everything they do. Digestion, immune function, activity level, color regulation. All of it depends on hitting the right temperature for long enough each day. When a dragon is too cold in the morning, the body sometimes darkens to absorb heat faster. Dark surfaces pull in more radiation. So, a black beard under the basking light, especially right after lights on, can simply mean the dragon is working to warm up. That doesn't make it nothing. It makes it useful information. If you see this pattern repeatedly, the first thing to check isn't your dragon, it's the basking spot. Surface temperature, not air temperature, measured where the dragon actually sits, with a probe or an infrared thermometer. If that number is low, the color makes sense. Experienced reptile keepers often describe this as one of the most overlooked husbandry issues. A basking spot that looks fine on a dial thermometer but is actually 5 or 10 degrees off where it counts. Now, here is where the picture gets more interesting. A new piece of furniture near the tank. A different angle of sunlight through a window. A vacuum that ran 10 minutes earlier. A new pet sniffing the glass. A child standing tall over the enclosure. A delivery truck idling outside. To us, none of that registers as threatening. To a dragon, any of it can read as a predator-shaped problem. The black beard, in that context, is a defensive display. The dragon is making itself look bigger, bolder, less like prey. It isn't fear in the human sense. It's a body-level response to perceived risk. If that's what's happening, the right move is not to coax the dragon out of it. It's to give the room a minute to settle. Lower yourself so you're not towering over the tank. Let the noise pass. Then watch what the color does. This is where the behavior stops looking emotional and starts looking environmental. There are also seasonal and hormonal reasons a beard turns dark, and these are worth knowing because they're easy to misread as illness. Adult males, especially during warmer months, or in the presence of another dragon, even just a reflection in glass, will often darken the beard as part of territorial or mating display. You might see it paired with the quick up and down head movement, a puffed out throat, or that slow circular arm lift in females or younger males. Females sometimes darken when carrying eggs, even without a male present. The hormonal shift alone can drive both color change and behavioral change for weeks at a time. None of this is automatically a problem, but it's a reason to look at the whole dragon, not just the beard. Is the body posture relaxed or tense? Is the dragon basking, exploring, eating? Is the color confined to the beard, or is the whole body dark? Is it darkening in short bursts or holding for hours? Short situational darkening is usually behavioral. Persistent all-over darkening, especially with reduced activity, is the part that asks for closer attention. The one possibility no responsible video can skip is pain or illness. A dragon that stays dark for long stretches, especially when temperatures are good. The room is calm, and nothing in the routine has changed, maybe telling you something is physically wrong. Color is one of the few tools a reptile has to communicate distress, and they don't waste it. Pain in reptiles is famously hard to spot. There's no whining, no limping in the obvious way mammals limp. What you tend to see instead is a cluster, persistent dark color reduced movement, a dragon that stops basking on its usual schedule, breathing that looks heavier or more open-mouthed than normal, sunken eyes, weight loss over a week or two, or an unwillingness to lift the body off the surface. A single dark beard on a single morning is not that. A pattern over days paired with 2 or 3 of those other signs is. This is the moment where the right answer stops being watch and see and starts being call a reptile veterinarian. Not your regular vet. A clinic that specifically treats reptiles because the standards of care are different and the diagnostic tools are different. This is not something to ignore if it continues. If it's sudden, severe, or paired with other changes, it earns a phone call. That is not panic, that is responsible ownership. The most useful skill you can build as an owner is learning to read context around the color, not just the color itself. Time of day matters. A dark beard at lights on is different from a dark beard at midday after 2 hours of basking. The first might be warm-up behavior. The second is harder to explain by temperature alone. Posture matters. A dragon that's dark and pancaked flat against the basking platform is doing something different from a dragon that's dark, hunched, and tucked into a corner of the cool side. Breathing matters. Slow, even breaths through the nose are normal. Fast, shallow breathing, or any breathing through an open mouth that isn't tied to clear basking heat is not. And it's one of the signs that should push the timeline forward toward a vet visit rather than another day of observation. Appetite matters, but it's the slowest signal, so don't lean on it alone. A dragon can skip a meal for many reasons that aren't medical. Repeated refusal over a week, paired with persistent dark color and lower activity, is a different conversation. The enclosure is part of the behavior, not just the background. Always check it before you assume anything about your dragon's state. Here is the practical version of all of this, the part you can actually use tomorrow morning. When you see the beard turn black, walk through a short mental list before reacting. Check the basking surface temperature where the dragon actually sits, not where the bulb hangs. Check how old your UVB bulb is. Most need replacement every 6 to 12 months, depending on the type, even if they still light up. Check whether anything in the room changed in the last day or two, including things you wouldn't normally count, like a new scent, a new sound, or a new visitor. Then, watch the dragon for 15 or 20 minutes without intervening. Note whether the color lifts as the basking spot warms up. Note whether the body posture relaxes once the room is quiet. Note whether the dragon moves through the enclosure normally or stays locked in one spot. If the color comes and goes with conditions, you're almost certainly looking at a healthy dragon doing healthy reptile things. If the color holds for hours or days, regardless of conditions, and you're seeing other changes layered on top of it, you're looking at a reason to escalate. Reptile veterinarians commonly advise that the most useful thing an owner can bring into an appointment is a short timeline, not a guess at the diagnosis. When did the color start? What were the temperatures? What changed in the routine? What did the dragon do differently? That timeline is worth more than any home theory. The reason any of this matters isn't just to keep your dragon alive. It's because the more accurately you read the signals, the less stress your dragon carries through its days. A dragon that lives with a calm, observant owner, one who notices the small shifts, adjusts the basking spot before it becomes a problem, and doesn't read every dark beard as drama, is a dragon whose body doesn't have to keep yelling. Over time, that kind of attention shows up as relaxed posture during handling predictable basking routines, steady appetite, and a body that doesn't have to flag distress because the conditions stay close to right. That is what trust actually looks like with a reptile. Not affection, reliability. A dragon learns through repeated calm experience that its environment is going to stay predictable, and that the human in the room is not a threat. The color tells you whether that learning is on track. So the next time the beard goes black, slow down before you panic, and slow down before you dismiss it. Set a quick 3-part check for yourself. First, look at the conditions, temperature, lighting, time of day, anything new in the room. Second, look at the whole dragon, not just the beard posture, breathing activity, where it has chosen to sit. Third, look at the duration. Is this a moment, a morning, or has it been going on for days? If the answers point to environment or routine, fix the environment and the color usually follows. If the answers point to something that doesn't resolve, or you're seeing 2 or 3 concerning signs together, contact a reptile veterinarian rather than waiting another week to see what happens. That's the whole job. Read the signal, check the context, respond at the right level. Your dragon is not being dramatic, and it is not being mysterious. It is doing the only thing its body knows how to do, telling you in the language it has that something is worth your attention. Spend the next 3 days watching when the dark color appears and when it lifts. Write down the times if you have to. You'll learn more about your dragon in those 3 days than in the last 3 months of just looking at it.